He saw it happen, he turned around, and then he just took off.
All right, winter has hit Utah, so it's time to go to Arizona. Yeah, that's right. Today, we're gonna be taking the Mini Cooper and the Rubicon down to one of my favorite places, and that's the Arizona Strip. And the Arizona Strip is over 1 million miles of just open land. I mean, people run their cows on it, but aside from that, you might run into a coyote or two. But it is just desolate out there. And I found some trails on Onyx Off-Road that I haven't hit before. And today we're gonna go see if we can find them.
Okay, let's
Sounds
do
good.
it.
Well, I needed sunglasses because it's gonna be a sunny day. Sometimes you have to go with what the gas station has. All right, to give you an outline of our trip today, there are a couple of trails that I want to knock off my bucket list, and the first one takes us off the Hurricane Fault Line. And historically, the Hurricane Fault Line was a big problem. It was a major fault, we'll say. That's a good one. Just because of how rough the terrain was to get off of it. So it's this giant cliff where I guess I don't know, there's some continental shift or something going on there. It connects to Yellowstone, some super volcano, something along those lines. But we're not gonna focus on that. We're just gonna focus on how we can get off of it. One of them is Mount Trumbull. We've taken that way before. The Hurricane Twist, Laverican Twist, and then I'm just realizing now there is another way to drive off of there, and that's called the Temple Trail. Oh, there's also the Honeymoon Trail. So it takes us off the fault line, and it looks pretty exciting actually. The Mini Cooper seems to be running awesome. I mean, the rear suspension feels dialed right now actually. We got to get that front buckled up, but other than that, how's the Rubicon?
Rubicon's doing great. If you've never driven a vehicle with full hydro at high speeds, and I'm talking like faster than 30 miles an hour, it is terrifying, okay? Like, I'm holding the steering wheel going like this and still driving straight, and you go over a bump and it's like, whoo! It's terrifying. It is so scary. But when you're not going 60 miles an hour, it's great.
It's better on the dirt, isn't it?
It is better on the dirt.
Meanwhile, that's exactly why I did what I did with the Mini Cooper. I wanted that mechanical linkage because I do have experience with the Rubicon, and from what other people have said after they've driven it, is it actually handles really good on the road for full hydro. When you get somebody in it who's not familiar with it, it can be a little bit daunting. Okay, Higgy, let's go. This looks pretty great. So in the last 45 minutes that we've been driving, we've noticed the Rubicon has developed a major oil leak coming out of the distributor. We're gonna ignore that because I don't think it's a problem right now, but look at the view. Behind me is the trail that Onyx says is called the Temple Trail, the southern section, and it's part of a much larger Navajo trail Navajo West Trail. And this trail actually stretches a long ways away. Like it goes like pretty much along the whole bottom of the state so that people could get to St. George back before there was highways and real roads. This was the way. This was one of the ways. Before we keep going down the trail, I want to talk about the Rubicon a little bit and where it's been for the last couple months and why you haven't seen it. So last April, I believe, we went to Rory Irish's 2.4 hours of hecking back, and it was a time-based event on a trail. And the Rubicon is not built for time-based anything. In fact, its 0 to 60 is non-existent, like 4 hours probably. We ended up overheating the transmission and it started slipping a lot, and we were worried that we blew the transmission up. I just assumed that we needed to replace it, and I didn't look into it any further, and instead directed my attention to the King Cooper. And earlier this week I got thinking, well, what if it's not bad? What if we just cook the fluid? So we're out here testing it. I know it's kind of an extreme test, but Mini Cooper needs an extreme test and the Rubicon needs an extreme test so that we can trust them. If that makes any sense, we have to, you know, they have to earn my trust. So I decided to do what sounded fun to me, which was like this pretty involved trail ride that we're doing today. So that's why we have both rigs here, and then if one ends up failing, we still have a ride out. Sound about right? Sounds about right for what we're doing. Anyway, let's hit the road again. Anticlimactic. I think that was only rated like a 1 or a 2. Your mom's minivan can do that one. We've got a long way to go still. Let's go get the trailer.
I don't even know what to say. I've never gotten in a car wreck before. I think this was definitely the closest I've ever been to getting in a car wreck. And obviously now the Mini Cooper's all busted up in many different ways. Feeling a lot of different emotions right now.
Are you okay?
I'm shooken up.
Shooken?
I'm shook. There's two main emotions I'm feeling right now. One is anger at myself and at the car, but it happened, and then I'm just upset.
Yeah. No apology either from them. They just drove off.
He saw it happen, he turned around, and then he just took off. Like, I'm upset. Like, yeah, crying on camera. I think like the biggest thing is like, for what, it's embarrassing too. Like, I hate to be the one to break the Mini Cooper. And like this is the first real test run that we took it on. I am upset.
It's okay. It's gonna be okay. We knew that was broken. You didn't break that. And the front steering, obviously, the arms need to be redone anyway.
Yeah, I mean, at least those, it looks like they more just broke off rather than.
Yeah, and Zach welded those, so.
Yeah. I'm like, it's gonna be okay. Just overwhelmed at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's fine. I'm just glad you're okay.
I thought it was gonna roll.
It didn't look close to rolling.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're all right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's not your fault. It's a product of the situation. Stuff like this happens. Okay, so they're gone now, but there was some people stopped on this blind curve right here as we were coming over it, and JaNelle hit the brakes and lost control and bounced all the way down through this wash. She entered it right there. It actually took it pretty well, except the FOA shock definitely didn't take it at all. Everything else seems to be okay though. That was crazy though. Okay, let me explain what happened. Broke a bead off the tire, broke a shock, broke both front steering arms off. But let me show you what it hit. So as she was coming over this hill, I saw her kind of twist and, you know, kind of go into a drift, but it came off the road right here. This is the driver's side tire. The passenger side tire came off of this, hit this as hard as it could, for one, came down here. I saw it hit this rock, you know, just bump off of it a little bit, and come all the way through here. All through this mess of an area, hit that rock, that was a big deal. Hit here, which this rock was over here, and then come to a stop right here, obviously pretty aggressively. She'll drive on the trailer, it looks like. Don't stop in the middle of the road on a blind curve. I know it looks like she was going fast because of how far it made it before she stopped, but it's downhill. It's downhill a long ways. It looks like the tire flexed enough to come up to there, and it fully locked, it looks like. Probably when it like broke this steering, it probably had enough room to flex.
Yeah, I mean it looks like there's just this one corner that's still even on that. So it didn't break completely off.
Well, it can't break off unless it breaks this bolt, because the bolt goes through the arm, but the arm is definitely bent. I mean, look at that rock. That rock was clear back here. The front tire at least went over that.
Good grief.
Do you see where you came down?
Trust me, I'm pretty sure I was like, at least like 20% of this, I was like midair. Granted, with this whole thing too, like, I should have gone over that hill slower too. I knew that there was another car on this road because I'd been keeping my eye on him, and he was like probably half a mile ahead of me. And so I slowed down coming over this hill because like before that, yeah, we were going probably like 40, 45. But obviously with not seeing over the hill, I slowed down. We're probably going maybe 15, 20, 25. But then to come over that hill and just see him just sitting on the bottom, like, my first instinct, of course, is to slam on the brakes so I don't run into him. And, like...
It's also, like, we're also still trying to figure the Mini Cooper out. I don't have the proportioning valve quite set up right, so it kind of locked up the rear end. The road coming into this hill has a crown, which wants to kick you off the road. So, naturally, with the marble-shaped gravel, it, yeah, kind of got a little sideways.
Yeah. It was... That... was probably one of the scarier things I've ever done. Just saying.
All right, now we should probably park this up at the top of the hill. So I'm gonna I'm gonna turn around and park it up there. We can go get the truck and trailer. You sure you want to drive it?
I'll let you get it out of there, and then we'll see.
Everything else held up. I don't even see any other, I don't see anything else that's a problem.
That's good.
Yeah. So let me show you. So as you're coming around this corner here, you know, la-di-da. And you see someone blocking the road in the, where the Rubicon is, crossways, okay? There's no, getting around him. He's blocking the road. It doesn't take much to lose it, I guess you could say. So that's where you came off, huh?
Yeah.
Right there. Wow. Crazy. Let's go home.
Where'd you get those glasses? You had to wear those green, pink, and blue ones.
I found these in the Rubicon.
Oh. For sure. At one point, I think I got them a stock from Walmart. Just hid them everywhere. Those are your favorite, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're back to the shop. There was enough time to calm my nerves a little bit and process what happened. Gosh. Let's get the trailer and hook up and go get it before the looters get it. I'm very disappointed. I don't know, just don't block the road. If you can't see, before you turn around, look down the road. If you can see a good, 100, 200 yards, good. If you look behind you and you can see a good 100, 200 yards, you're good. Turn around as you do. If you can't see more than 30 feet, don't block the road.
You're going like that. You come over the hill.
And there's someone parked.
Sitting right there.
All right, let's head home, and we'll have to try this trip on another day when there's less people around, I guess. Come on, Higgy, load up. All right, so we're back with the King Cooper. We are definitely gonna have to get this thing put in the shop next week, fix the front gears, get this tire swapped for that one. New shocks are coming. We've got some Bilsteins, and I am super excited about those. We've also got some bump stops coming, and that will eliminate this from happening. I hope. It should. And then we'll go out there and do it again. Not that. We'll go hit the trails that we were trying to hit. And hopefully we won't run into anybody parked on a blind curve blocking the road for some reason. I think there's 3 very important lessons learned here today. The first one, probably the most important, is don't block the road. Don't park at the bottom of a hill on a blind curve and completely block the road, especially when like 100 feet further there was a turnaround for that purpose, I would assume. The second thing is go slower than you think you need to around turns, but at the same time I feel like our speed was adequate. If anybody was not blocking the road, it would have been just fine. And then 3, make sure you're in a rig that's totally capable of driving through complete washes and trees and boulders the size of this tire without getting completely wrecked. I wouldn't say this is completely wrecked, just some things happened that would have happened to anything had it been through the same thing. You can probably tell that I'm a little bit annoyed at what happened, for good reason, I would say. But I mean, this needed to go in the shop anyway. Now what's a couple more things to fix? We had to swap the shocks out anyway. We had to pull the front diff. Nothing's changed there. We just have to swap a tire now. That's the only thing that's changed.
And nobody got hurt.
And the most important thing about today is nobody got hurt. And we're still left to wonder about the elusive Arizona Strip trails. And I wish we caught footage of it happening because it was wild. It was like watching a rodeo happen. It was crazy. As you know, the holiday season is upon us. It will be Christmas in a couple weeks, and you're probably wondering what you're gonna get for your family or friends, or even if you're shopping for yourself. I have a sale for you. On my website right now, everything is 30% off. Hats, hoodies, shirts, you name it. You can click the link in the description, or you can go to the website and use the code RADFAM. And with that code, it'll save you 30% on whatever's in your cart. And as always, thanks for your support and thanks for watching. Here, I'll get this off. There you go. I'll move this too. There you go.